Hello, I'm Philip Mugglestone, and in this series of videos we're covering the SAP HANA Application Function Modeler, or AFM. In this first video I'm going to introduce what the Application Function Modeler is. In fact, it's a new capability introduced with SPS 6 of SAP HANA. The SAP HANA Predictive Analysis Library, or PAL, was introduced with SPS 5 and it allowed you to perform some very powerful predictive analytics. However, in order to make that possible, you had to do some scripting. In fact, the scripting we can see here, we've got creation of table types, creation of a signature table, and then calling the infamous AFL wrapper generator procedure in order to create a stored procedure that you can then call later. And you had to create your output tables, you had to create a parameter table with various settings in it, and then of course you called your procedure at the end. So that's how it worked with SPS 5. However, this is maybe not the optimal way to set up your predictive analysis. So with the SPS 6, the Application Function Modeler provides a way to do pretty much the same job as this, but do it visually and interactively using a modeling tool, so an interactive modeling tool. Now there are a number of things we'll need to do to set it up before you can actually see this up and running and working. So what we're going to do next is go through the actual initial setup process. Now the Application Function Modeler is available from HANA Studio. So the first thing we'll do is open up our version of HANA Studio. The first thing we'll need to do here is to verify we've got revision 60 or newer. So we need to go and look, for example, help about HANA Studio and check that our version of HANA Studio is actually SPS 6. So we can see this is revision 60, so this one is fine for us to use. What we also should do is, having connected to our HANA server, is to make sure that that server is the right revision. So if we were to click on admin for that server, we're logged in as a system user, then we should be able to see in the overview what the revision, what the version of the server is. And here we can see again, it's revision 60. And it's very much advised that your HANA Studio and your HANA server are working with exactly the same revision. Now, in order to use the Application Function Modeler, we also are going to need to use some of the Extended Application Services, or XS services, so the true development platform available with HANA. So something else we should check is to make sure that we've actually installed the HANA client tools, and that we install on the same machine as where we have Studio. So we can check that if we go, for example, to local disk and then program files SAP. We can see we've got Studio, HTTP Studio. We can also see HTTP Client is installed, and that's an important aspect. It includes ODBC drivers and also something called Reggie, and that's something that we'll be referencing shortly. So make sure you've got the right revision, revision 60 or newer, of the HANA client tools installed. So the first thing we're going to do is make a reference from Studio to the client tools. So if we go to the window and then Preferences, we go down to the SAP HANA Development area, and in here we have Repository Access. Now by default, Studio doesn't know where the version of Reggie we're going to talk with the repository on the server is. So we need to just set that up. So we go to Change, and then we navigate back to that folder. So for example, here it's in Program Files, SAP, HTTP Client, and then we'll find that Reggie file. We open it, and now we've made that connection so that now HANA Studio knows how to talk to the HANA server using this Reggie capability. So that's something you just need to do once when you're setting up Studio. The next thing we would want to check is to be sure to see if the AFL, or the Application Function Library itself, has been installed. The Application Function Modeler and the PAL and the BFL, these are all part of the AFL component. Now it comes with HANA, however it's not installed by default, though in many cases, such with HANA 1, it is already installed for you. So that's something you should check to see if it's already installed. And there's a very easy way to check that. All you need to do is to go into the catalog and go to the sys schema and look for a view which is called AFL underscore functions. And just have a look at that view. Let's just preview the data in it. Now, if you've got lots of rows in here, Basically, it means that the AFL is up and running and installed. In fact, you can see we have area name, AFL PAL, package name PAL, and within here we see actually all of the different algorithms that you've maybe already seen, including some new ones like DB scan that are new within SPS 6. So you can see here the algorithms are available, so the AFL has been installed. If the AFL is not installed, is not already available, the way to do that is to work with the Lifecycle Management tool, and it's normally a server administrator that would do this. You can actually install the AFL now. It's with SPS 6, it's installed via the Lifecycle Management tool. So here we can see the SAP HANA Lifecycle Manager, and one of the options around here, manage additional SAP HANA components, has add the AFL or the application function library. So this is how you can make sure that the AFL is installed if it's not already there. But as I said, in many cases, it's already been pre-installed by the system administrator for you. So we've found that the AFL is installed, we've got the right version of Studio, and we've set up the Reggie link. So we're now ready to kind of get started. In the next video, we're going to look at how you set up authorizations, because there are some specific rights required in able to use the application function modeler.